You want to focus on, we're going to focus on that we have 3 points of contact. The base of the pad of the big toe, the base of the pad of the pinky toe, and the heel. And so this is a tripod. So if you think of if you think of a tripod for a camera, if you just put your weight on this outside part, right, the tripod would fall over. And if you just put it on the inside part, the tripod would fall over. So we're going to focus on the base, these 3 points of our feet, and also our pelvic floor today and how important they are. So I'm going to go sitting. You can use your hand and massage in here, or you can use the ball. So you can stand or sit, Farzaneh. So I'm going to start with stretching this top arch right underneath the toe pads. And that's called the transverse arch. And that's the arch that goes from the pad of the big toe to the pad of the little toe. So a little bit farther forward than that, Marianne. And then if you're sitting, just me and Farzaneh, you can use your hand and press down even harder. And if you're standing, then you can activate your core and use that as well. Nice. So obviously, if you're using a tennis ball, it's going to be more gentle. If you're using a lacrosse ball, it's going to be harder. Good. Put more weight in your foot, Stella. That's right. Nice. Then we're going to bring our focus to our inner arch. So this is the medial arch. It goes from your big toe to your inner heel. And then just work that inner arch. So from your big toe to your heel. So yeah, so really put some weight into that, like you're gassing the engine, right? Like you're gassing the engine. Nice. And just notice how that feels. And so this is the arch of your foot that affects your inside of your leg. Good. Then bring the ball to the middle of your foot and just get that plantar fascia and kind of dig in there. You can go a little back, you can go a little forward. And so what we're doing is you're just exploring. So put a little bit more weight in that, Marianne. Yeah, put some weight in there. So you're not just like gently rolling, you're like putting pressure in there, kind of like a sports massage. All right, and then this one, Jennifer Merritt, is where I want you to really notice. Now take the ball, or you can take your hand from your pinky toe to your heel on the outside of your foot. And notice how that is. And so this side of your foot is the lateral side of your foot, the outside of your foot, and it affects all the way up to your outer hip. And you can kind of change the angles. And then if there was another spot that was more relevant to you, you can go back to that. If your plantar fascia is bothering you, go back to the center. If this outer side of your foot is bothering you, if you'd rather massage the outside of your foot or both. Nice. All right, and then because you're already standing, let's just do the other foot so you don't have to get up and down. So come back to the top of your foot, kind of claw the ball with your toes like you're a American eagle, like you're an eagle, a bald eagle, and just get that transverse. So you're getting this right from your big toe to your pinky toe. That's one arch in your foot. So your foot has 3 arches. And that makes a dome, and then that's similar to the dome in your pelvic floor. Nice, so just go back and forth. Nice. And then let's come to the inside of your foot again. So big toe to heel. Yeah, and my balls flew out too, but that means probably you need to put more weight into your foot. Nice. So just notice how that feels and how this part of your foot affects your inner thigh. Good, then come to the center. Get that plantar fascia. Work your hand from side to side. So this is the center of your dome. Nice. And then finally come to the lateral side of your foot. So from your pinky toe to your heel. And this is the side of your foot that affects the outside of your leg, your outer hip. Nice. And then just find the spot that you really liked and put some weight into there. Nice. All right, and then just take a moment, check in with your feet, maybe spread them, wiggle them, see how they feel. Nice. And then let's make our way up to our calf. So now, if you have a roller, you might want to use the roller, or you might want to use a ball. I'm going to put the ball underneath my Achilles tendon, so just above my heel. So Stella, this is probably a good spot for you. Just be careful. So just start with the center of the back of your heel and work your leg into the roller or the ball, and the ball into your leg. Now, Marianne and I have this kind of bumpy, hard roller. And so right now it's feeling a little bit too hard. It's not feeling good for me. So I'm going to put the ball on a block and do that instead. That feels better. So experiment, right? This is all about self-knowledge. So this is just a physical awareness of your body, self-knowledge. So just see what feels good to you. Nice. Then turn your foot a little bit in. So you're getting your inner calf. So we're now up on our calf, sorry. So bring the ball up a little bit higher. Higher. I just had a little Texas accent there, Jennifer. And then come back to the center of your calf. Good. And then turn your foot out. So your calf muscles work with your feet, and then these muscles affect your knees. So again, when you go to the outside of your calf, you're focusing on your outer leg. And then inside of your calf, inner leg, center of your calf, right down to the back of your hamstrings. Nice. And then I'm just going to say, take your hands and dig them on either side of this front bone, which is either your fibula or your tibia. That's all I'm going to say about that. I think it's your tibia. And just get these muscles. So get the muscles in there. So my teacher had us rolling on this, and it was yucky to me. So I'm just going to use my hands because I did not like that. I thought that was awful. Nice. So just kind of dig up in there, kind of an area we totally ignore. Nice. And then let's switch to our left leg. So either with the roller or with the ball, I like to put it on a block. Let's start with our Achilles tendon. And you can just go side to side. So with the ball, you have to make more micro movements. With the roller, you can take bigger movements. So see what feels good to you. And one side might feel different than the other. So my calf was like, oh my God, what have you been doing lately? Nice. So get that Achilles tendon. And then move the ball up to the center of your calf. And you probably have way more activity in there than you think, right? If you run or you walk, or if you came to class on Tuesday. There's a lot of activity in there. Nice. And then turn your foot in, get the inside of your leg. And just notice where your body's like, ho, 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 we need more love, so that you know for later, right? And then turn your foot out, get your outer calf. Nice. Good job. And then let's move to our glutes and our hamstrings. So be careful here, Stella, because this is where your hamstrings were affected. So I used the ball. So let's start off and put the ball or the roller underneath your right glute. And it doesn't matter, just do one side, then do the other. And take the roller at an angle. And if that's too intense for you, then you can go back to the ball. And then just don't put too much weight on your hands, right, Marianne? So if you sit up more, you can have no weight on your hands and use your core. See, I'm sneaking in core work on you. And then just roll a little bit. So go up to the top of that glute and back and forward and back and forward. Nice. And then while you're right here, because I really need to do it, roll all the way down so that the roller or the ball is just at the top of your hip. So this area is just super sore for me. This is like our extensors that we do that flat back. Nice. And then roll on up and just get your hamstrings. And if that's too intense for you, don't do it, or back off, or take some weight out of it, or find a slightly different spot. So just notice, don't just listen to me, notice what feels good in your body. Nice. So just rolling back and forth, breathing, and just exploring. Good. And then from here, we're just going to turn. We're going to bring the roller or the ball below your hip down towards your knee. Now this is where I think, Vince, you have a lot of your tightness. So just notice. Yes? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Okay. He's giving me a thumbs up and then he gave me the bird. No, not really. So this is your vastus lateralis. This is your outer hamstring and your IT. So both of those are there. And this makes me want to scream. So bring the ball all the way down towards your knees and take the some weight off if you need to. So my teacher says if it's this painful, it's probably your outer quad. Fine. And then finally, roll onto your belly. And let's take the roller or your ball. Take your left knee out to the side and just roll on that quad. Roll on that quad. Nice. Good job. Oh, I'm glad you girls made it today. This is the best day. Nice. And then you can roll all the way up to the top of your hip. You can focus more closer to your knee. You can focus more on the middle of your quad. So this is super, super tight for me. And then maybe turn your foot out and get that inner thigh. Breathe. Nice. And then turn your foot in one more time. Or if you're like, no, I'm good with this. Nice. And then just take a moment and take a child's pose. And just take a moment to feel how good your right leg feels compared to your left leg. So let your hands come a little bit more forward, Marianne. Yeah. And you can always take a puppy pose with your booty up high if that feels better. So if your hips are tighter, that might feel better. And just notice your right leg versus your left leg. And how important it is to just feel that nice release. Good, and then let's do the other side. Okay, so we're gonna start back underneath our left glute. I had to remember where we were. So start back and take that roller or the ball at an angle. So if you're on a ball, maybe you're gonna hold a point and then find another point. So just find some movement that feels good in your body. And then see if you can roll a little bit higher, more towards the gluteus medius. So sort of the side part of your glute, not like the main center. So you get that as well. Nice. Good. And then if you liked it, come all the way on to just above, just the top part of your low back. And if you're like, no, thank you, then just stay where you are. So just above your hip. So for me, I'm really, really tight here. So I think I need to roll this more from that flat back position that we do when we really lengthen and strengthen our hip flexors or hip extensors. Nice. And then from here, you can get those hamstrings again. So you kind of sit with your right foot out to the side, and you can rock with your hand on your leg. And if that's not a good spot, then bring the roller or the ball closer to your knee or somewhere else. So anywhere that hurts, like pain, not like, oh my God, I'm tight, but pain, skip that. Nice. Find a couple more spots here. Nice. And then we're gonna roll onto our side again. So take the roller to the top of your, well, just before your leg hits your hip point. And then that's too tight for me. So I'm gonna go, wow, I'm gonna go between my knee and the middle of my leg. And I already rolled, ow, and I'm still dying. So this is that vastus lateralis again. So lateral outside, right? Of your quad. Okay, I can't stay here that long. I'm literally dying. And then I'm going to turn onto my stomach. So if you want to stay longer, have at it. I am so uncomfortable. So I'm going to come onto my belly, have my right knee out to the side as a brace. Come on to the front of my quad. And first work up by my hip. Nice. And just notice what you notice. Like, oh, this is nice. And oh my God, I need to roll that outer leg more. I definitely need to roll that outer leg more. So just take in the information. Good. And then when you're ready, roll the ball closer towards your knee. The lower part of your quad. Nice. And so this whole region of your body connects up into your hip flexors. So your quads are actually part of your hip flexors because everything is connected here. So you might have a pain like up in your hip and it originates down here. Nice. Then turn your foot out, get that inner thigh. Nice. And then when you're ready, come on up, take a child's pose again. Or a puppy pose. So puppy pose, Marianne, your booty's up high.